Hello, World Studies 9A scholars. I'm going to read the Haitian Revolution article, which will help support you in your final project for World Studies 9A, Trimester 1. As you read along with me, highlight any information from the article that shows an economic cause in green. Highlight any information that provides an example of a political cause in yellow, and highlight any information that is linked to a social cause in blue. So as I read the article, you are looking for economic, political, and social causes that explain why people in Haiti revolted and were a part of the Haitian Revolution. Paragraph 1, short description. The Haitian Revolution included a series of conflicts happening at the same time between 1791 and 1804. It was also the largest and most successful revolt by enslaved Black people in history. They had succeeded in ending not just slavery, but French control over the colony of Saint-Domingue. This led to the creation of Haiti, the second independent nation in the Western Hemisphere after the United States. Paragraph 2, social hierarchy. In 1789, there were 5 distinct sets of interest groups in the colony. There were 32,000 white planters who owned the plantations and enslaved Africans, and Petit Blancs who were artisans, shopkeepers, and teachers. Some of them also owned a few enslaved people. Many of the white planters and Petit Blancs on Saint-Domingue began to support an independence movement that began when France placed high tariffs or taxes on the items imported into the colony. The planters were extremely disappointed with France because they were not allowed to trade with any other nation other than France. Furthermore, the white population of Saint-Domingue did not have any representation in the French government. White planters sought greater economic autonomy from France, while Petit Blancs argued for the equality of all white people, not just for landed white planters. Despite their calls for independence, both the white planters and Petit Blancs remained committed to the institution of slavery. Paragraph 3. There were 3 groups of African descent: those who were free, those who were enslaved, and those who had run away. There were about 24,000 free Black people in 1789. Half of them were mixed, and often they were wealthier than the Petit Blancs, which made the Petit Blancs resent them. The free Blacks and mixed people were known as affranchis. The affranchis were sometimes slave owners themselves and aspired to the economic and social levels of the white planters. Beginning in the 1760s, white colonists began to restrict the rights of the affranchis. Some of these restrictions did not allow the affranchis to hold public office, practice privileged trades, such as law or medicine, assemble in public after 9 p.m., sit with or dress like whites, gamble, travel, or enter France. These offenses were punishable with fines, imprisonment, chain gang duty, loss of freedom, and amputation. Paragraph 4. The enslaved population was close to 500,000 people. The vast majority worked in the fields. Others were household servants, boilermen at the sugar mills, and even slave drivers. Enslaved people endured long, back-breaking workdays and often died from injuries, infections, and tropical diseases. Malnutrition and starvation also were common. Some enslaved managed to escape into the mountainous interior, where they became known as Maroons, and fought guerrilla battles against colonial militia. Despite the harshness and cruelty of Saint-Domingue slavery, there were enslaved African rebellions before 1791. Haiti had a history of enslaved African rebellions. The enslaved Africans were never willing to submit to their status, and with their strength in numbers, 10 to 1, colonial officials and planters did all that was possible to control them. Section 2, paragraph 5. Land ownership. Land ownership in Saint-Domingue was a critical issue before, during, and after the Haitian Revolution. Land ownership granted access to power and prosperity and was sought after by all of the colony's social classes. During the buildup to the revolution, white colonists were increasingly threatened by the affranchis who were becoming powerful landowners. At the beginning of the revolution, One of the enslaved people's central demands was to have small plots of land and an additional free day during the week to cultivate them. Later on, during Louverture's reign, laborers objected to his adherence to a plantation-based economy which required blacks to work land that was not theirs. Through the course of the Revolution and in the years following, former enslaved people felt owning land was critical in order to truly claim their freedom. To that end, they fought for the colonists, and even their own leaders, for land rights, never giving up their goal to own the fields they worked in. Section 3, paragraph 6, the beginning of the Haitian Revolution. The French Revolution of 1789 was a significant event for the oncoming rebellion in Haiti. The ideas of liberty, equality, and fraternity resonated with white planters, petits francs, affranchis, and enslaved populations, and resulted in a number of Haitian-born revolutionary movements that began at the same time. Also inspired by the French Revolution, many enslaved people increasingly engaged in marronage, running away from the plantations to the mountainous interior. Paragraph 7. In 1790, France made laws which gave Saint-Domingue some autonomy at the local level. The white planter class said the autonomy only applied to them and excluded petits blancs from government. However, these laws left open the issue of rights for affranchis, and white planters refused to recognize them as equals, creating a more tense situation. In October 1790, affranchis led their first armed revolt against white colonial authorities. Paragraph 8. By 1791, enslaved people and affranchis were fighting separately for their own agendas, and white colonists were too preoccupied with maintaining their dominance to notice the growing unrest. Throughout 1791, such revolts grew in numbers and frequency, with enslaved people torching the most prosperous plantations and killing fellow enslaved people who refused to join their revolt. Paragraph 9. In May 1791, the French revolutionary government granted citizenship to the wealthier affranchis, but Haiti's white population disregarded the law. Within 2 months, isolated fighting broke out between white colonists and affranchis, and in August, thousands of enslaved people rose in rebellion. Paragraph 10. August 14th, 1791 is considered to be when the Haitian Revolution officially began, with the Bois Commune ceremony, a voodoo ritual presided over by Boukman, a Maroon leader and voodoo priest from Jamaica. This meeting was the result of months of strategizing and planning by enslaved people in the northern area of the colony who were recognized as leaders of their respective plantations. Paragraph 11. Due to the fighting, the French government took away the decree granting limited rights to affranchis in September 1791, which only spurred on their rebellion. That same month, enslaved people burned one of the colony's most important cities, Le Cap, to the ground. The following month, Port-au-Prince was burned to the ground in fighting between white colonists and affranchis. Section 4, 1792 to 1802. The Haitian Revolution was chaotic. At one time, there were 7 different parties fighting simultaneously: enslaved people, affranchis, petits blancs, white planters, invading Spanish, English troops battling for control of the colony, and the French military. Alliances were struck and quickly dissolved. For example, in 1792, black people and affranchis became allies with the British fighting against the French, and in 1793, they allied with the Spanish. Furthermore, the French often tried to get enslaved people to join their forces by offering them freedom to help put down the rebellion. In September 1793, a number of reforms took place in France, including the abolition of colonial enslavement. While colonists began negotiating with enslaved people for increased rights, the rebels, led by Toussaint Louverture, understood that without land ownership, they could not stop fighting. Paragraph 13. Throughout 1794, the 3 European forces took control of different parts of the island. Louverture aligned with different colonial powers at different moments. In 1795, Britain and Spain signed a peace treaty and ceded Saint-Domingue to the French. By 1796, Louverture had established dominance in the colony, though his hold on power was weak. In 1799, a civil war broke out between Louverture and the Affranchis. In 1800, Louverture invaded Santo Domingo, the eastern half of the island that was colonized by Spain, modern-day Dominican Republic, to bring it under his control. Paragraph 14. Between 1800 and 1802, Louverture tried to rebuild the destroyed economy of Saint-Domingue. He reopened commercial relations with the U.S. and Britain, restored destroyed sugar and coffee estates to operating condition, and halted the wide-scale killing of white colonists. He even discussed importing new enslaved people to jumpstart the plantation economy. In addition, he outlawed the very popular voodoo religion and established Catholicism as the colony's main religion, which angered many black people. He established a constitution in 1801 that asserted the colony's autonomy with respect to France and became a de facto dictator, naming himself Governor General for life. He put the black people back to work on the plantations under military rule and encouraged many of the French business owners to return. Paragraph 15. In December 1801, Napoleon Bonaparte, wishing to maintain control of the island, attempted to restore the old regime and French rule by sending his brother-in-law, General Charles Leclerc, with an experienced force from Saint-Domingue that included several other exiled Affranchis officers. Many white planters supported Bonaparte's invasion. Furthermore, Louverture faced opposition from black people who felt he was continuing to exploit them and who was not instituting land reform. Toussaint struggled for several months against Leclerc's forces before agreeing to an armistice in May 1802. However, the French broke the agreement and imprisoned him in France. He died on April 7, 1803. Section 5. The Final Years of the Revolution. Paragraph 16. Believing that France's intentions was to restore the system of enslavement in the colony, black people in Affranchis, led by two of Louverture's former generals, Jean-Jacques Dessalines and Henri Christophe, restarted the rebellion against the French in late 1802. Many French soldiers died from yellow fever, contributing to the victories by Dessalines and Christophe. Dessalines led the revolutionaries at the Battle of Vitry on November 18, 1803, where the French forces were defeated. Paragraph 17. On January 1, 1804, Dessalines published the Declaration of Independence and abolished the colony of Saint-Domingue. The original indigenous Taino name of the island, Haiti, was restored. France became the first nation to recognize its independence in 1825 in exchange for 100 million francs, with a repayment period until 1887. Haiti thus emerged as the first black republic in the world and the second nation in the Western Hemisphere, after the United States, to win its independence from a European power.